Alright y'all, welcome back to my channel. So this is Corey J from Corey J's Boutique. If you have not already done so, make sure you subscribe, and y'all follow me on Facebook. I'm very active on there. I go live every day, Monday through Thursday, so make sure you guys follow. But today we're going to talk about how I became an entrepreneur, how I started my own business at 19. Okay, so if you guys are interested in watching, continue right now. All right, so let's talk about how I started my own business at 19. Okay, so first things first. So I got into making a wigs for myself after experiencing a crazy hair loss situation. If you guys want to hear more about that story, y'all can definitely comment story time below. But yeah, so after a crazy situation, I ended up experiencing hair loss to the point where I had to cut off all my hair and start all over. This was in 2000, and I'm actually wearing my natural hair, y'all. But this was in 2016. So I did a big chop. I cut off all my hair. I started making myself wigs, okay? So I ended up going to Bethune-Cookman at HBCU, and of course, you know, I was amongst like a bunch of beautiful young black women who wanted their hair done. So pretty much people were just asking me, like, you know, who make my wigs and who install my wigs, and I would tell them me every time. And so then people start asking me like to do things for them. So I was just like, okay, it was cool. I never really wanted to do hair though, like that wasn't my thing. But I mean, for the time being, I was in college, you know, things were tight. It was hard to get a job in the state. I'm from Minnesota. I went to school in Florida. So it's like, you know, it was difficult. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'll make a little money off of it, whatever. So then in March of 2017, I decided that I would make like an Instagram page for my business because I wanted to like show my talents. I wanted to market myself. And along with that, I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos. That's the reason why I do videos now, to, you know, pay it forward to someone else. But yeah, I just watched like a lot of videos about like how to do what I was doing, and the thing that was in coming into 2017 was wigs. Wigs were popping, you know, so just learning how to do different things, learning how to make wigs, customize them to people's heads, because of course when I first began, I was having a little trouble with like fitting people's heads, and I mean, I was working out in my dorm room, so it was just a struggle at first or whatever. So in 2017, in March, I ended up making a business page, and that really marked the beginning of my business. So pretty much I just continued to do people's hair. I used to ask like my close friends to allow me to do their hair or whatever, so I would make their wigs for them, and then I would just like post them. And it was so funny because when I first started doing wigs, I was making them glueless with elastic bands, right? So the thing is, I didn't really know too much about marketing or whatever. I was 19 years old. I was my first time away at college, like for real. I was at HBCU. I was just trying to get my money, you know what I'm saying? Get that bread, get that head, then leave. That's all I was trying to do. So I was just like, okay, just like doing stuff, just posting stuff, like no rhythm to it, no rhyme to it. I just wanted to show people that I could do their hair so I can get some more money. But then the thing about me, I'm a very passionate person. I've done so many things. I've danced, I've singed. I've sang. I continue to sing today. I've been in plays. Like, I've done a lot of stuff. I used to be in band. I used to play volleyball. And everything I do, I give it 100%. So after a while, you know, I just like my desire to grow just became very adamant. Like, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna do good at this, you know? So basically the demand started to grow, but the demand started to be that I not just make the wig, but I also include the hair for the wig. You know, a lot of people was coming to me like, oh, can you just do both? And I'm just like, where am I supposed to get hair from? But what I've done throughout my entire business, and this is a gem, okay, this is tea. What I've done throughout my entire business is respond to the demand. What my consumers ask for, I give them. Period. That is how you grow your business. That is a gem. So take it and do something with it. Seriously. But yeah, so I just like responded to the demand or whatever, by figuring out, okay, where can I get hair from so I can sell these wigs already made to these girls and say I got this wig and I got that wig. So my first hair vendor, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, was actually off of AliExpress. The very first person I ever started selling wigs with the hair included or whatever was from AliExpress. I used to hand make my wigs in my dorm hall, and I did this for about a year, until, well, we'll get there. Okay, so then basically what I started doing was I realized, like, you know, my presentation was like needing to be better. So I basically went and like I bought fabric. So I bought fabric from Joann Fabrics, Michael's, all those stores, craft stores. I bought fabric so I could put it up behind like my doll heads or whatever. I bought doll heads from the beauty supply store, because back then they didn't have the mannequins with the shoulders and stuff, and if they did, I didn't know. So I just bought like the next best thing. I just went to the beauty supply, got some of those or whatever, and I started to do wigs or whatever. And I just remember, like, it was like one girl from Minnesota, Alexis or whatever, she had bought a wig from me. Then there was a couple other people that had me make their wigs or whatever. So mostly what I was doing was making wigs with the hair included and installing. But of course, I got passionate about it, and so I couldn't stop there. So I was like, okay, well, now I'm just gonna sell bundles too, because that way I can make passive money. So I was always very mature minded and advanced, and I always knew like I was going to own my own business. I always said that from when I was younger, and I honestly owned my own business when I was younger. So I always had that mindset or whatever. So I'm just like, okay, if I sell bundles and stuff, that's kind of like passive, which I didn't know what I was getting into, but whatever. So I'm just like, okay, cool. So in November of 2018, I launched Black Royalty Extensions. So I'm sorry I didn't say this before. In 2017, when I began my business, that Instagram, the name was Wigs by Corey J. So that's what everyone knew me around the campus, was Wigs by Corey J. Okay, then I made an extension of that, which was Black Royalty Extensions or whatever. So I'm just like, okay, I'm about to do this, you know, and I tried to do Black Royalty Extensions and Wigs by Corey J, and I tried to make, you know, like a website that was very, like, you know, inclusive of both of the brands, but make it like one. And it was very confusing. Oh my god, it was confusing for me, it was confusing for my consumers. But the biggest thing was, I was a talented young woman on campus that had what you needed, and was passionate about what she did, would make time, you know, wouldn't stand you up, wouldn't do nothing crazy or whatever, for the most part, from what I remember. People still came to me, even though it was confusing, you know, for me and for them, and I knew it. I just like kind of responded to the demand. So again, I just continued to do hair on campus, and then I had to stop my business. Oh my god, my world was crashing down. So I actually pledged Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And I had to stop my business for a few months. So that was like really crazy. That was in the spring of 2018 or whatever. So from 2017 into 2018, I just did hair on campus. Like I said, I changed my I did the extension, Black Royalty Extensions, Wigs by Corey J, in November of 2017, right? Then it came December of 2018. I did hair all up until it was time for me to pledge. So then I stopped my business, which really, y'all, it was really like, it was really detrimental. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, it really hurt my business, because in all of that time, a whole semester came. That means new kids. That means new hairstylists. So I pretty much lost all of my clientele that way. And so I was like, dang, back to the drawing board. But again, the thing about me is my passion kept me going. So here's another gem. Consistency. It don't matter if you start right or if you start wrong. Just stay consistent and you will learn along the way. It is a journey. That's what journeys are for. They're for learning. Do not wait until you got it all together. Just stay consistent in everything that you do, especially with your business. Do not go work for somebody from 9 to 5 and then sleep on yourself. That's a gem. Let me tell you again. Do not go work for somebody from 9 to 5 and then go home and sleep on yourself. That's crazy, okay? Those are gems, period. So back to what I was saying. So I was like, okay, back to the drawing board. So now, mind y'all, this whole time that I'm working on Corey J's Boutique, I'm also attending school. I'm a biology student, so things are rough. I'm also working in the president's office, so that's very, you know what I'm saying, gotta get dressed, put my suit on. Like, it was just a lot, you know. I would literally go from class to hair to work, back to class, you know. It was a lot, but I did it. I love doing it. It made me money. I'm not the type of person to ask anybody for anything, period. I'm gonna always make sure I eat, so that's what I did. So after my business kind of, you know, dropped because I was doing other activities and investing my time into other fruitful things, I decided, okay, let me, you know, utilize this new, you know, this new entity of me as a way to come back out with it. So I remember I ended up making my own website on GoDaddy.com. It was like, okay, yeah, so basically my line name is The Inspired Diva, of course. So I pretty much made like a website. I didn't do crimson and cream. I just did like black, red, and white, you know, just to associate myself, but not, you know, like copy and do things I'm not supposed to do. So I just like associated myself with it. I put my Delta pictures on there, you know, welcome back, all this stuff, and I made a sale. And so like I had expected like so many people to support me, just because like I felt like I gained like a new family and I like met so many people along the way, and I just expected so many people to support me, and instead I felt like, you know, they didn't or whatever. And that really didn't discourage me. It just encouraged me to do better. You know, some people supported me, some people didn't. But like, you know, I just felt like, and even just after coming back, old clients, like I just expected more support. And that's another thing, y'all. Don't worry about people around you supporting you, because your best friends is gonna be them internet girls you don't know, period. Like I love my internet KJB dolls. Like we literally talk every day. We get online, we talk to each other about our day. It's like we know each other, and it's like I look forward to speaking with them. So don't worry about the initial support, but it only made me want to go harder, you know what I'm saying? So then I moved in the beginning of March to a home off campus or whatever, so I had a room for my hair. So after I was done with my process, I started immediately investing in that room, okay? So the first thing I did was started making YouTube videos, and that's when I started my channel. I'm lying. That's not the first thing I did. I lied. Okay, so the first thing I started to do was actually just started to make videos, like more content and things like that of me coloring hair just for the internet and stuff. But really what I was working on was figuring out a way to merge black royalty extensions and wigs by Corey J, because it was just really confusing, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, okay, how do I do this? What colors do I use? I don't know what I'm doing. So I decided, after a while, we ended up coming to the conclusion of Corey J's Boutique, because in my mind it never stops, period. And in your mind, it should never stop, period. So I'm just like, the thing is about it, I don't want to say Wigs by Corey J at all, because it doesn't embody the whole boutique that I want. And my whole goal was to have Corey J's Boutique become a one-stop shop, which it absolutely is becoming today. So I'm so grateful for y'all, for real. And to God, for real. But yeah, so like I just really was just like, okay, let's do something that's gonna embody a one-stop shop and, you know, not limit us to wigs or extensions or bundles or any of that. So we came up with Corey J's Boutique. My logo was black and gold. This was after changing my logo. So the first one, Wigs by Corey J, was gold and orange. It was really, really pretty, but it was like cartoonized. And I'll tell y'all, I wouldn't suggest a cartoonized logo for anybody who wants to go, you know, like go for it. It's just not professional, I don't feel. You don't have to take my advice, but that's just how I feel. But yeah, so I was just like, okay, Corey J's Boutique, black and gold, very elegant, very simple or whatever. So of course, at this point, then I had to change my website. Then I had to change my YouTube channel. Then I had to, you know, I was just like, it's time for me to advance. Like, I just did something big. I'm moving on to another, you know, time in my life. I have my own room. So that's when I began, like, the content creator of me. Okay. So it was like 2017 in March. I just wanted the money. Like, that's all, because I really didn't care to do people's hair. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then going into 2018, you know what I'm saying, I was doing things for the money. 2018 first quarter, lost all of my clientele. End of the quarter, started Corey J's Boutique. I just want y'all to be following me here. Okay, so when I started like the Corey J's Boutique or whatever, that's when I really began doing content, and I started to love it. Like, I told myself, like, I'm gonna be on the screens. Like, I told myself that I wanted to do it. So I was like, okay, let's start this YouTube channel. So I did have a Wigs by Corey J YouTube channel. It's still up. I got 40 subscribers on there. But then I said, okay, let me start the Corey J's Boutique. Because I had the room, I was able to actually now put up, you know, my backdrops in the room and everything like that, and actually get on, you know, camera. So in 2018, that's when I really started to like trying to become comfortable with the camera, talking to it. Doing hair on it is kind of difficult, remembering to record all these steps and all this other stuff. So I was just very like passionate, and also it was an escape for me. I was in a very horrible relationship, honestly, and so then it was just like an escape from that, honestly, as well. So I would just sit in that room and think of things to do, something positive, like something other than what was going on around me, you know what I mean? So then so crazy, y'all, my life has been so crazy. So about August of 2018, that situation ended very abruptly, and I was displaced. So I had to move suddenly, overnight, literally, y'all. I had to move. So again, guess what? I lost my clientele again. So I literally only had my clientele I regained my clientele after like May. So from May to August. You know what I'm saying? So that only lasted a little while or whatever before I ended up losing my clientele. But I did not lose my ability to do content, y'all. I didn't lose my ability to do content. What I realized during this time was that I actually truly love to do content, because again, now this was another escape from me realizing that, oh my gosh, everything is just ending, and now again I'm displaced. And not to say I'm also displaced from school as well. You know what I'm saying? So this is a problem with that. It was crazy. It was depressing. It was a tough situation for me, honestly. So I just decided to just continue doing my content or whatever on my YouTube. Y'all will see my content. If y'all look, y'all will see I'm unhappy. My face is breaking out. It's so much crazy stuff, but I just needed to be able, like, to talk to somebody. That was my way of doing that or whatever. And so 2018, 2019, I was down south Florida. I did not have clientele. My biggest thing was working so that I could figure out what was next and how to get back into school. You know what I'm saying? So I was, you know, still thinking and working on my business, and, you know, but my biggest thing was, I'm going to push my business through content, because I don't really have anyone's hair to do. I don't have no money for wigs like that. But what I did do before, like right before all of this happened, was I actually used a credit card, 2 credit cards, no, maybe just one credit card to buy some hair. And I did invest in some hair and everything like that. But yeah, so a lot of stuff ended up happening with that hair as I was moving. One of my wigs was lost, vanished. Nobody knows what happens to it. One of them was eaten by a dog. I'm not lying to y'all. I swear to God, I'm not lying to y'all. But yeah, so it was just a lot of stuff happening. So I lost a lot, you know, with that, but I gained so much like peace and, you know, the ability to really speak out about like what was happening and what as a woman you should not take. I don't know if y'all remember my videos from then. If not, it's okay. Had to delete them in order to get monetized. They were very, very, very what do you call it, vulgar. Yeah, so pretty much then, after taking that time to just do content and focus on how I could make my business better, I decided that I would move. So I was living with my mom. She had moved down to Florida or whatever. So I had ended up moving with my mom when I was displaced. I lived with her from the end of 2018 to the end of 2019. So it was about a year or whatever. And during that year, like I said, I was working, I was figuring out my school situation. I ended up going back to school, y'all. But here's the thing. So it was this whole thing where I was determined to show everyone that I could be a full-time entrepreneur, that I could make money off hair, because I felt like nobody felt like I could. And I didn't want to go back to school after I was displaced. Like, I wanted to do YouTube, I wanted to do content. You know, I knew I could do it or whatever, but my mom's thing was like, you still need to finish school no matter what. And I didn't want to. I was going to school for biology, then I changed to nursing. So at the end of the day, I just felt like, well, if I want to do hair, then I'm wasting my time in these fields. Like, I'm doing nursing because that's everybody else's dream, not my dream. You know what I'm saying? My dream is content creation. My dream is influencing. My dream is teaching. My dream is, you know, it's beyond hair too. But this is the way that I know I can reach people with love. You know what I'm saying? Because this is my passion. So I just was like having a hard time or whatever. And then I ended up going back to school. But y'all, let me tell y'all. So I ended up going back to school for marketing online. So I ended up being like, you know what, content creation and stuff is what I like. But when you think of it, content creation is your way of marketing. And when you know how to market, then you know what type of content to create, and you know what type of content will get people to watch. I hope that makes sense. So it was like a new world for me that related to hair, but still, you know, was different but relevant. You know what I'm saying? Different but relevant. So I decided to go back to school for marketing online or whatnot. So then pretty much I think I started online school February of 2019. I did that, and I also worked at a serving job. So after I worked in the president's office, all my jobs after that were serving, and I worked all the time that I've been talking to y'all about doing hair. I also worked a job as well, okay? And I was going to school until I was displaced in August. So from August to February, I wasn't in school, but I was working, and I was going, you know, doing hair and stuff, like just doing content mostly, not hair, my hair. But then I was also too looking for a vendor as well. So I was just testing hair, doing colors on them, just really like investing in myself, like, you know, just researching stuff, researching how to market, going to school for marketing, actually paying attention to my marketing classes so that I can do stuff to then make my business better and watch it grow before my eyes, y'all. And I honestly did. It's really crazy. Like, I went from being overlooked to overbooked, and I still have so much more. Like, I don't like, it's beautiful, honestly. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna capitalize on this, period. But I had to move out my mama house, y'all. It was just too much. And honestly, my mom is not a fan of hair or whatever, and she didn't really like me coloring hair in her house for sure, because like I'm messy, get things everywhere. She didn't like that, which is understandable, especially because now that I have my own place, I don't want nobody fucking my shit up. So I understand. I'm not saying nothing bad at all, I'm just telling them the story, okay? So yeah, so basically she just didn't like that or whatever, and it was causing conflict because that's what I wanted to do, you know what I'm saying? So So it was like I would get off work and I would go to our old apartment, and I would go like in the not the laundry room, but the workout room, and I would do hair in there after hours where the office people didn't see me. Nobody was in there, but I would just do hair colors and stuff in there or whatever. And one day I even finished hair coloring on the back of my car. Yeah, it was so crazy. And at this time, certain people were ordering from me. So at this point, I was getting a few orders here and there, but it was nothing consistent. It was just honestly more stuff for me to make content with, like my little blessings. Ooh, now I got something to make content for, whatever. So then I decided to move out or whatever, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get my own place. So I was like, let me figure out where I wanted to move. Well, in order for me to do that, I had to figure out where could I make the best life for myself as a full-time Black entrepreneur, because that was my goal. That's what I knew I wanted to be. I knew I couldn't work for nobody else. Serving definitely wasn't gonna be my life, so it had to be hair. So I'm just like, okay. I researched some places, and Orlando ended up being a up-and-coming place for entrepreneurs. So Orlando it was. Miami and all that stuff, yes, is good for here, but it's high competition, and if you do not already have a name for yourself, you are going to get stepped on in Miami, period. So I'm just like, okay, let me go to Orlando or whatever. Good opportunity. Also, it is close to where I went to school at in Daytona, which means those women that left school and ended up moving to Orlando, I can capitalize on them because they already know me. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up moving to Orlando. I ended up working to make sure I had everything I needed before I moved here. Moved into my own apartment on my own. And I told myself what I wanted to do when I got here was experience full-time entrepreneurship, right? So I was like, I'm gonna try to find a job, and I'm gonna make sure I set my job like weeks after I start, so that I can make sure I experience full-time entrepreneurship. I kept saying like what I really was saying was like I want to lock myself in a box like for a week and do all crazy colors, crazy hair colors. So if you guys are loyal Corey J's Boutique people and y'all been here from the start, y'all remember the summer of 2019 when I was doing all of these crazy hair colors. I moved in June, and so then that's when I locked myself in my box and I started doing all these crazy hair colors, and that was just me exploring. And then I thought, oh yeah, like hair coloring is my gift, like that's what I thought or whatever. So I went into 2020. Well, basically, yeah, so I just gained clientele here. Nothing really happened here other than me gaining clientele. Well, that's a lot, but me gaining clientele or whatever, living alone. It was pretty crazy because it was like didn't know. I mean, I'm from Minnesota, for God's sake. So now I'm in Orlando by myself. I really don't know nobody. Very, very, very hard, but very rewarding, and very, very. It was a teachable moment. Like, you know, I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about how to live on my own and how to be an adult and a woman. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But I had a lot of hard days. It was like, you know, it was tough to continue doing this, I would say, just to be honest. But I did it, and I worked at a job. I ended up having a serving job, a couple of them, and I was working there and here and there, doing hair at the same time. So what I did here though was I came here with a very, very set mind on marketing myself to be, you know, known, and marketing myself to be known for something good. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was hair color, whether it was wigs, I just knew I wanted to be known for something good. Then when I got here and I started doing color and things like that, that's when I wanted to capitalize on it, right? So the one thing I did different that I had never done before was I started to go out into the community. It's funny how I actually met my brand ambassador. The first time we ever met, it was in 2019. I went to a Delta event at UCF because, you know, I mean, I knew if nobody else was here that I could connect to, I could connect to Delta UCFs or UCF Deltas. Yeah, pretty much. So I was just like, okay. So I went out with them or whatever. I met them at this event and I ended up meeting my brand ambassador. She loved my hair. She was like, oh, who do your hair? So that was my marketing tactics, y'all. And that's another gem. So my tactic was going out with my hair slayed and a full look on and getting people to compliment me. And then I would have a business card waiting for them. So then that was really like what I did, you know, for from June of 2019 till February of 2020. I pretty much promoted my coloring services. I promoted them on my own head. I used myself as my canvas because, again, I was trying to build my clientele. So I would just try new things on me. When the frontal ponytail started popping, I did the frontal ponytail on me. And I used to go to events and have business cards waiting for people to ask me who did my hair so I could tell them, hit me up or whatever. So I started building my clientele here or whatever. But it was just like tough. Like, it was tough. Orlando was a tough crowd. I ain't gonna cap, especially because I don't have a space to do my hair in. So I was just like traveling to people's house, and that was exhausting, and it was just like disturbing, and it was just like I don't like having to expose myself to all this stuff that people may have available to me. You know what I'm saying? Some things I don't want. And I really didn't like that too much, but that was neither here nor there, because I ended up doing a Black business event in February. That event was amazing, actually, and I thank everybody to this day who came to support me. And that's when I actually dropped my official website, because before then, like, I was just making little websites, and then I didn't have one when I moved here. As my clientele built, I needed to drop a website. So when we in February, we dropped that website. So shout out to KY Unlimited by Kiasi for being with me since February of 2019. You are amazing, truly. So we dropped that website. We did this business event, y'all, and then COVID knocked our ass out, boy. Okay, knocked us completely down. COVID knocked us completely down. Then I had some personal issues happen. Actually, me and my boyfriend had a miscarriage, and so it was just between COVID, being pregnant at first, and then having a miscarriage. It was extremely stressful. From like February to May, it was just crazy. I lost my job. I was, you know, it was just a lot. Like, bills was crashing down, medical bills was crazy, and I was just in a very, 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 very bad space. Like, I just want to be completely honest with y'all, and I'm just smiling while I say it, because honestly, sometimes thinking about the space that I was in makes me super, super emotional. And then seeing how, you know, the things went in my life, what happened here, what happened there, and then how I just like got over this hump. It's amazing. All glory to God, honestly. He gave me the strength to get through all of this stuff, y'all. But let me drink some water. But so at this point, you know, I had actually graduated school. So May 30th, I graduated school. April 30th, my birthday was April 28th. On April 30th is when I had my DNC for my miscarriage. On May 30th is when I graduated college and told myself, you are now a full-time business owner. You are a full-time entrepreneur. I said it. I wrote it down. I put a check mark by it. I put a check mark by my I put a check mark by my YouTube being monetized in 2019, going into 2020 anyway. But I wrote that again, put full-time entrepreneur, checked it, put monetized channel, checked it. That's another gem, y'all. Manifestation is real. If you want something to happen, write it down, say it. I am a millionaire. I am successful. I am happy. I am peaceful. You guys have to manifest it. But yeah, I wrote it down or whatever. And so then I had my first Corey J's boutique sale as a decided full-time entrepreneur. I don't know if I had told other people or whatever, but I started off with the sale, and it was the Savage Summer Bob sale. So I was like, I know bobs are popular. I know I can get them for inexpensive. I don't mind I don't mind investing in myself, right? So investing in myself was pretty much, I don't really know. I was kind of selling myself short. I'm not gonna, I don't know. So I was just really just trying to get my product out there. I wanted to know, people to know that my hair was good, right? So then boom. So first, y'all, like I said, the demand was for me to get wigs with hair. Then the demand was color and installs, whatever. Now the demand changed to glueless wigs. The demand changed to glueless wigs, and y'all know I'm the queen, okay? So I was like, oh, see, I want to try me like I wasn't already doing this when I first started in 2017, but that was my fault because I was not promoting it correctly. So after graduating and having all of this new marketing knowledge, you know what I'm saying, and this new confidence, like this newfound confidence, and that's why I will say, y'all, full-time entrepreneurs and business owners and aspiring, I'm not saying go to school or don't go to school, but I will tell y'all my experience is that the confidence that I had behind my business after knowing how to market it was unknown. I knew I was cute. I knew I could get dressed. I knew I could get people's attention, but now I know how to market it too. It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I started my bob sale or whatever. Bobs was starting real cheap. People was getting them. I invested into some ads. And then my mom put me into contact with somebody. His name is Khalil. These are my two mentors. Darisha been here since 2017. Khalil got here 2020. And my mom actually put us in contact. And he just like, you know, Khalil is very diligent about his business. And how he runs his business is through Facebook Live. So he told me I needed to start going live. He gave me all these tips about what to do, what to say, how to do it. So I was like, okay, cool. So then it was so funny because then I started to get a lot of like traction. You know, I got a lot of traction from going live because people were able to ask me questions. They were able to see how good my wigs live and in action. Also, this was my way of giving myself to the community, you know, without being able to do anything in a whole pandemic. And this was a switch for me because, you know, before I was trying to go out in the community. Now I'm like, oh gosh, now I have to take this content and take it to, you know, and take it to the screen. But then again, I was like, wait, I already been doing this anyway. God has already been preparing me for this throughout the YouTube years. So I'm like, all I have to do is put my YouTube face on in real time. That's nothing. Okay. But, you know, just be myself. So I started doing live. That was just one way of me growing my business. Throughout the entire process, another gem, I have prayed over my business. I have prayed consistently for the success of my business and for the success of me as a woman. And so that's what God has been doing. So that's, you know, just a gem. So live wasn't the only thing that I was doing. I was also praying. But on top of that, I was consistently researching, y'all. It's important to research. When I first began my business, I did not do any research, and I do not recommend doing it that way. Not at all. I'm not saying that you all should wait until you're perfect, because you'll never be perfect and you'll always learn, and that is what the journey is for. However, definitely do some research. And what you should be researching is trends. What is trending? Does that mean that you have to be like everyone else? No. But do you have to provide the people with what they want? Hell yeah. If you're doing what you want in your business, that's the first thing that you shouldn't do. That was my issue when I first started. I was doing all the hairstyles and promoting all the hairstyles that I like. Now I'll put a wig on that I hate, but somebody else is gonna buy it, period. You know what I'm saying? So you know, just figuring out what the people want, responding to demands, figuring out the trends and what other people were doing, paying attention to the Arrogant Tays and the Kendra's Boutiques and the Erica J's. Erica J is a really big inspiration to me because she is on YouTube, and she also has, you know, she does hair, she sells products, she sells wigs. So she does everything that I aspire to do. So she's definitely somebody I like to keep up with. So I was just getting inspiration from her and just getting inspiration from all these other hair companies and just continuously responding to the demand, y'all. And so honestly, this was the turning point. May 30th 2020 was the entire turning point of my business. Luckily for me, I had gotten my LLC November 2019 or whatever. So like I said, I did start my business in 2017. I did not get my LLC until 2019. My recommendation, it depends on you. Okay, if you want to count on loans, get your LLC, because you cannot get an LLC without a loan. You can't get a business bank account without a loan. You can't get shit. You can't get, a business bank account without LLC. You can't get anything. You know what I'm saying? If you want to wait, then, so be it. The website is what I need you to have right now. The website right now. It speaks to your validity. Without it, you invalid. Ain't nobody buying from nobody. Ain't nobody DMing nobody to purchase in 2021, period. Yeah, so pretty much, y'all, that was the turning point of my business. Since then, I've been going live. I've been responding to the demands. I've been adding new wigs, glueless wigs. Every time somebody asks me something, every complaint that I get, every compliment that I get, every comment that I get, I use it to make the business and the brand better to this day. We're coming out with wig care products here in 2021, so I'm super excited for the products. We're going to continue to have the best glueless wigs, period. Our wigs come bleach, plucked, and ready to wear, and they grow your hair. Okay, you can still have your edges, and you can rock the best wigs, period. So honestly, y'all, thank y'all so much for being here today. I hope you guys learned more about me and my story about how I became a full-time entrepreneur at 19. I hope you guys like this video. Make sure y'all follow me on social media. Like I said, highly active on Facebook and Instagram. I'm on Twitter. Y'all, Corey J's Boutique is here to stay. 2021 is our year, period. If y'all have any questions, if you guys have any suggestions, if y'all need some tips about business owning, if y'all want like very detailed, you know what I'm saying, detailed answers about how to do this, do that, make sure y'all comment below, leave them below. I will answer them in another video. Okay, so yes, thank y'all for being here.